Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find. And with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we have got Jen, we have got Sal, we have got Jessa, we have got Bill, and we have got Amanda, who is looking suspicious.
Hello. I did nothing. I said nothing.
It was the look.
She thought you were going to ignore her.
No, I didn't. Well, I mean, admittedly, it would be reasonable considering we're not 3 times pro. So.
Yeah, Amanda.
Right. The first question, and I feel like I need to put a warning on this question, but I can't think what warning would put on it that would help with the answers. So I will just say, behave, Jen.
Nice!
Oh,
Why me?
goodness.
Amanda's had almost as much to drink as I have.
Yeah, but I still can behave myself.
Oh, bullshit.
Are you
I have
sure?
some
I
video
think if I
footage
can
that...
legitimately talk about climate change like a pro for 20 minutes, I can fucking keep my mouth clean and shut. So.
Oh, look, aside from me
2 seconds, argue.
confusing fission and fusion,
No.
they did pretty good.
Dave, that's you. You're on. Give us a question.
Sorry,
Where the
Dave.
fuck did you go?
Dave?
Dave's adjusting.
Sorry, I forgot I was wearing the wrong t-shirt.
Yeah, baby.
I'm not even gonna
How
ask.
much have you had to drink, Dave?
Nothing, just painkillers. Lots
No.
and lots of
Oh,
painkillers.
okay.
I don't know.
Well, I know what that's like.
Right. Question 202. What is the most disgusting thing you've ever had in your mouth?
Oh, okay, I can't answer this.
I've actually got some nasty shit in my mouth.
Say that again?
I've actually put some nasty shit in my mouth as a kid. I've stuck everything into my fucking mouth.
That sounds wrong.
Yeah, it's as wrong as it sounds.
Well, there are two things. One of them is definitely probably the nastiest, but I'll go with one that I've had live octopus before.
How very
so-
Japanese of you.
I ate 2 live ants once.
Ants.
I just read what Doorknob Head said.
Oh.
Dog, ew.
Uh,
Ew. See, it's not that
Why?
bad. Like, I think stupid
Why have
shit,
you
but-
put
Can
dog
somebody
poop in
please-
your mouth?
Oh!
Right.
Yeah, see, that's just wrong. You were bored, weren't you?
Now, the second time wasn't my fault. Whenever a body that has been sitting there for a while and expands and pops if you're not careful while you're handling it, yeah, it
Oh.
goes everywhere. And my mouth was open, so yeah.
See, that's almost as bad as what Santi said. A Republican.
Oh, God.
Doorknob Head said he did it to make a girl throw up. Amanda.
Black mold.
Mm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's as much disgusting as dangerous.
I ate rotten fruit
Mold,
once.
trust me.
I ate rotten fruit just to see what it tasted like.
Fucking weird, Sal.
Yeah, told you.
Julie says she made out with a boy once when she was a teenager. We were not compatible, and I almost vomited in his mouth.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I want to change my answer.
Go on.
You know that fucking date that I told you about? The bad kisser? His
Yeah.
tongue. It was the worst thing I ever had in my mouth. That's
Wow. Went from black mold to an actual human being. That oof.
Yeah, right.
sorry about that. So
That's
it's
pretty
awful.
bad.
Jen.
all right, I didn't actually put it in my mouth, but the guy wanted me to. I went on a date with a guy who, at the end, we ended up back at my place, actually. And I thought he was okay until we got a bit frisky and got naked, and I actually saw his penis, and it was covered in penis cheese.
What?
Didn't
And
he
I told
say
him-
to watch what you fucking said? He said it. He asked you to. So,
And there is no way I was putting that thing in my mouth, and I told him straight off, and I said, nah,
He wasn't
this is
embarrassed?
not happening, go home.
He wasn't embarrassed? Like it was normal to him?
No, he was fine about it. I'm like, how can you be fine about this? This is disgusting.
Yeah, like that's some really poor hygiene. Wow.
Oh, it is. It was.
Sammy says, drank someone else's blood from a vial.
That ain't.
Who has vials of blood?
Yeah, that's not disgusting.
I've had my
drinking someone
son's
else's
blood
blood.
in my mouth. I've had my son fucking vomit on my face, sneeze in
Yeah.
my face. So
Yeah, bodily fluids kind of don't count.
yeah,
Go on, Bill.
To be honest, mine isn't really that bad, but buprenorphine is the most disgusting thing that
Not
I
very
have
nice,
in my
is it?
mouth, and I have to. It's fucking horrible, and I have to eat that shit daily, dude.
You
Every
eat it?
fucking
Why don't you
day.
patch?
It's nasty. Huh?
Why don't you patch?
They won't
Yeah.
give me patches.
Why?
Um,
Do they not
I
trust
have
you
to-
with patches?
I have to have. Basically, yeah, I mean, I've only just managed to get them to finally put me on the 2-week collection because of my history. So they won't give me patches because they know I'll overdose on them.
Do you know when they switched to the? You would know. They switched to went from brand name to generic.
Yeah.
They switched my patch. Right, I was highly allergic to the adhesive in the generic patch.
Oh,
Oh dear,
something.
yeah, that's bad. Really bad.
So they screwed up big time. And do you know what the worst thing is? I'm going to tell you something very, very personal about me. No, that's not really bad anymore. Right, I get cold sores. Most people do. Right? When they put me on the patch, it activated my immune system, so I can now get them. I now get cold sores. When I get a cold sore outbreak, I get them fucking all over my face.
Man, yeah, that's happened.
That was new, and that was just because of the allergic reaction to the adhesive in the generic Butrans patch.
Yeah.
Fun. Right.
sorry, dude.
Anything else exciting? Oh, what have I got here? Do I have a good answer? No.
Yes, you do. You just don't want to share it.
I'll tell you what. All right, I'll tell you what. The question is, Caniston.
What?
Caniston.
Yeah. What is Caniston?
Yuck. That would not be nice to have in your mouth.
No.
At all. It's thrush cream.
Oh, how do you?
There was
I
a pet.
get
We
how you had it in your
used
mouth.
a pessary. She used a pessary, and we thought it had gone.
I accidentally brushed my teeth with cortisone once. I thought it was toothpaste. I didn't look, and that was nasty as shit. Yeah, my whole mouth was numb for a while.
That was usually a prank that we would pull, not by accident.
Yeah, right.
Right.
In all honesty, thrush is something you have to worry about if you're having in a lesbian relationship because
Right. Only one.
you can spread it.
Yes, very much so.
Sorry.
Only one person is going to get to answer this question the way that everyone is thinking. So whomever answers it first with that answer gets excused from answering it for real.
Go on.
Oh, wait there. I'm going to paste it in the right place. Question 203. What was your favourite fairy tale growing up?
God? Is that what you wanted us to say?
Religion.
The Bible. I was expecting an answer of.
I fucking
You
win,
mean favorite? You're saying favorite, but I mean God wasn't my favorite, so I'd say Santa.
Mm.
Santa,
Santa.
because he's a fairy tale and he was cool.
He was cool. He broke into your house once a year, rifled through your stuff.
Gave me presents.
What type of
And
creepy
give me
git is
present.
that? He sits there and watches you.
He watches you while you sleep.
He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when
He
you're awake.
sees you when you're sleeping.
He knows when you're
He
bad.
masturbates a lot.
We all do.
He watches. He knows.
Yeah.
So does
That's
Jesus,
it.
apparently. So
Yeah, okay, I just have to say to Doc, you didn't offend me with what you said before. There's no way you offended me. You find it very hard for you to offend me.
It's your saying, Santa. Jessa.
Actually, I really like the original Grimm's Tales.
Mm.
You know, I don't like how Disney really did them. I know they had to market it.
So you've
but-
given me my answer now, which isn't the Grimms.
Ah.
I'll go with Revolting Rhymes.
They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with King Arthur.
Hmm?
King Arthur.
Bill.
The Sword in the Stone story.
So, yeah.
Well,
So,
Grandma
me,
is
I,
terrified.
Shh. Bill, go on.
I had a collection of all Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. But to be honest, when I was a kid, I was more into other stuff like Greyfriars Bobby and Kidnapped. Do you know what I mean? Those sort of kids' stories,
Yeah.
like more than fairy tales. To be honest.
I mean, I don't know where the
Anderson's
line
tales
is
were
for
just-
fairy tale.
Well, Anderson's tales were just as grisly as Grimm's.
Yeah.
I mean, The Little
Oh
Mermaid
yeah,
was
very
pretty
much,
rough.
very much.
Yeah. Fallacy.
But Greyfriars Bobby, I love that book. So good.
Julie says Hansel and Gretel because they killed the cannibal witch who tried to eat them.
Man, poor witch.
you go with
Oh,
Into the
witch.
Woods and just like put all the fairy tales together.
Hmm.
Into the Woods and Out of the Woods before dark.
That's right.
Into the Woods because it has all the fucking fairy tales together. Just saying.
I'm gonna have to play off of Sal's answer and be actually The Search for the Holy Grail. Monty Python's is my favorite.
That's not a fairy tale. How can that be a fairy tale?
That's not fair.
Well, it's definitely fiction.
Right.
Fiction.
Question 204.
Already?
Yes. How do you feel about cars becoming fully autonomous, having no steering wheels, brakes, or accelerators?
No.
No,
Are we
no.
doing this? Are we really? Are we?
This is how do you feel
gonna give
about
us-
it?
I'm going to give a simple answer. I believe that you cannot completely remove the human aspect out of anything when it comes to something built by man.
Okay.
Or even if
Oh,
it
no.
was built by something that
I
was
was
built
gonna
by man.
Well, I don't understand how you remove the human aspect from anything. In that. If that makes sense. I get what you're saying. But, go on, sorry.
Well, you
Okay,
need
here's
to be
my
able to.
take. Sorry.
I was about to
Sorry,
say, you
Jasper.
need to be able to stop the vehicle in case of emergency or something like that. For whatever crazy reason, Dave decides to hack into your car, and you're sitting here trying to. You can't stop the vehicle. You see something that.
Yeah, but you can have an emergency stop button.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. There's too many. There needs to be a lot of fail safes, and you need to have the ability to take control. Because there's intuition that a machine can't have.
Right, because if it's
Yeah.
out of it,
Yeah, but the
then you
intuition a machine has is better. Intuition is the wrong
Yeah.
word there.
Yeah, that's programming, not intuition.
No, that's my point.
And yours isn't. We are basically just big fucking computers. Organic ones, yes, but big fucking computers. Our intuition is an evolved thing, and computers can evolve their algorithms. I don't see this as a problem. Where I see the problem is mixing automatic driving with human driving. We need a straight out, no more human drivers, everything's computer driven. Then you get rid of all the problems. Because the problems aren't going to be the computers driving the vehicles, it's going to be the fucking humans.
Yeah, but then you're going to have the trolley problem because I'm going to tell you this much: the robot's more likely going to choose the lesser of the casualties.
Well, no, this is where,
Yeah,
where's
but
where I.
having
We've
for-
discussed this at length because I think because the point
Yeah,
is there are people like me that would hack it to solve that in my favour.
Yep.
Right.
And humans don't do the right thing with the trolley problem either.
No, that's just the
we
problem.
know this. It's been tested properly. Humans do the option that means do nothing.
Yeah.
On the whole, we choose to do nothing. At least the computer will do something.
Yes, it will try.
Mhm.
It will try. It will try to do its best. Humans panic and don't do. They try to usurp responsibility, try to pass it off to somebody else until it's over, and then they say, "Oh, I could have done something, but I didn't." Because this is what we do.
Not to dive too much into my nerdiness, but anybody else that's played Fallout 4, there's a DLC, called Automaton, and what ends up happening is the programmer programmed these robots to protect humanity. Well, the robots eventually understood that to protect humanity from themselves, you'd have to wipe them out.
Yeah. Right.
You're talking about a game, not reality.
No, but this experiment has been written on before. That's where it came from. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but it's a game. It's a
Still
fantasy.
not reality. It is fantasy.
It's still not reality.
Would you trust?
Yeah.
Let's we're going to skip to other people, because basically the aim of this one wasn't to delve into the ethics, but more the personal opinions.
Yeah.
And we've done you two to death, and me. Sal!
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Go on.
No. I was gonna bring a plane into it. So if we're gonna go completely autonomous, would you trust it to land itself?
Planes are now landing themselves.
Yeah, they already do.
But all right, I get that. Are they passenger planes landing themselves?
Yes.
All right, I didn't know that.
Now, don't get me wrong. Right now, there are people, there are pilots still on the plane watching over it. I mean, there was someone that made a joke, a former pilot, that said, in the future in aeroplanes, in the cockpit, you are going to have the autopilot, a pilot, and a dog. The autopilot is to fly the plane. The pilot is to watch the autopilot, and the dog is to bite the pilot if it tries to do anything.
Yeah. Because pilots are what cause the accidents, rarely the autopilot.
No.
And if the autopilot causes an accident, it's usually not because of the programming of the autopilot. It's usually because some aircraft mechanic fucked up.
They stuck their hand in. That I agree with. Because when I've been in a plane in autopilot, and the moment you touch something, that's it. Yeah, you're going down. So
yeah.
All right. But I didn't know if you were landing passenger planes autonomously. That I didn't know. I thought we were still landing them manually.
Yeah. No, lots of them now. Because it's exactly the point is you want them to come in exactly the same. It's better than a road because there are no options.
No, I'm talking about the actual like I'm not talking about like the mechanical aspect. I'm talking about like calculating to like bringing it down.
Yeah, they do all of that. They do all of that. You basically tell them where the airport is, what the runway is, and they land themselves.
Wow.
They do everything to come in. The only thing a pilot does is decide whether to abort.
Yeah. In actual fact, if the pilot and the co-pilot have passed out on the plane or whatever else are incapacitated, all of those are entered remotely from the tower, and the plane will still land safely.
All right.
Because it has happened.
The point is, we've got more control over the runway. At the end of the day, an airport.
I understood that them being able to control it manually, remotely. Not remotely. It wasn't so much that it was programmed; it was something that they could control remotely.
Not really. You can't really fly a plane remotely. You can tell it to fly itself remotely.
Okay.
Actually, flying it remotely, planes are not.
It's the same. It's the same thing when we send the robots to Mars or something like that. That we don't control what happens with the robots on Mars from Earth, not directly, because the time delay is too long. I mean, it can be up to an hour when the Mars is on the opposite side.
Yeah, no, that's a different situation. That's
it's the same principle as the thing.
So but it's the same principle. We tell the computer what we want it to do, and it calculates all the correct things. It has a AI system that it can figure out the best way to do what we've asked it to do, and it's the same. We are really good at writing specific AIs to do specific tasks. What we're not good at is at writing AIs that do everything we do. But driving a car, flying a plane, moving a robot around a foreign planet is a specific task, and we are very good at writing it. And those AIs do that job better than we can, because we're human and we get distracted, and they are AIs and they do not.
Bill. Not here.
Yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm pretty much down with it. I think it would definitely improve road safety.
Yeah.
I really do.
Excellent. Manda.
She might have gone for more drink.
She might.
Fall asleep.
She fell asleep.
No, she might have gone to get more drink.
No, I had to
Figure out
run.
how to open her bottle.
I had to run downstairs really quick. I'm sorry. I
That's
didn't
okay.
see the question now.
Right. Question is, how do you feel about cars becoming fully autonomous and having no steering wheels, brakes, or accelerators?
No, I'm not comfortable with that.
The main reason I'm not is because I'm a driver. I like to drive.
But your kids, our kids, are not. I mean, the funny thing is our
I'm just saying
kids
personally.
are
I'm just
gonna-
saying personally.
are going to be the last kids that have a driving license.
Yeah.
I agree.
The liking thing is different as well, though, isn't it? I mean, I also like to drive, even though I can't do it anymore because I can't get insured. But that's not the point. Like the liking thing is different to the
I mean, once we have reliable autonomous cars, I don't think everyone are going to struggle to get insurance.
Yeah, because insurance companies are only going to want to have automatic cars.
Yep.
But you'll still be able to drive, Sal. There will be places where people can go and enjoy older vehicles and drive them.
Yeah.
I honestly think that the electric cars and fully automated cars will basically do for the petrol car what the petrol car did for the horse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Petrol cars will become luxury, fun
definitely.
items rather than actual work items, rather than tools. That's what I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Look, I'm still ticked off that 2015 is come and gone, and we still don't have flying cars. So.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Well,
Yeah,
technically we could.
We would be flying by now.
But no, we could, but we come down to the same problem that we have with cars on the ground.
We have too many
People are
wankers
crap at
driving.
We have people are effectively crap at driving.
Mhm.
The majority of people are not good at it. We have shit tons of accidents, and that's when we're coping with 2 dimensions. When you fly, you've got to cope with 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you've significantly increased the complexity of that. That's why so few people have pilot's licenses. So the only way we're going to have flying cars is to automate it all.
Would a
Right.
car have to fly really high to fly, or could it stay lower to the ground?
There are various ways of flying that would depend that you would have to model. Have it. I don't think we're ever going to have a flying car that is as you imagine,
Right.
right? Because you either need to make the car lighter with some sort of magic anti-gravity thing that we haven't got, make it lighter with some sort of lifting gas, which makes it bigger, substantially, or then you go the other way up to helicopters, which require massive problems with ground effect and being anywhere near the ground.
Yeah.
Not to
and then you've
mention
got
the fuel in those buggers.
the fuels, and then you go with planes where you need speed to generate lift.
Yeah, I don't see any real point in us doing flying cars unless we come up with a version of anti-gravity that actually works so that you can do it nicely.
Yeah.
Because the fuel efficiency of having wheels on the ground is actually pretty good compared to most of the other ways we
because
can have
it's
floating vehicles.
It's propulsion as well. Propulsion when you can use the friction to propel yourself, which is basically what we do with cars. We grip the ground and push ourselves forward with it. As opposed to the air, where all you can do is try and blow it.
If we had flying cars, how high would they have to fly? Because like every time they represent them, they're pretty high up. Like you're if that shit just shuts off, you're plummeting to your death. But you need that.
I think we're more likely to get personal airships
Yeah.
than we
Yeah.
are to
You need
get.
anti-gravity to have that kind of traffic that high up. It's
Personal helicopters.
Well,
yeah.
It's too much fuel.
It's not much of a problem. Like I said, if it's all automatically controlled, the heights of them isn't necessarily an issue because the computer systems would control exactly what height they needed to fly at, so they all didn't bang into each other. So
The
But
problem
you'd
you've
have
got.
a reasonable height because of noise.
Yes.
Noise would be the issue.
Well, apart from that, you could go with a massive cable system,
Wow.
which would technically be
That's-
flying.
So aggravating.
yeah, no.
So, I mean, Sarah from Hyde says it. With flying cars, you have to keep in mind that most humans are idiots. I mean, to be honest, that's the problem with cars. At the end of the day, most people that are driving are not paying attention to driving.
That's why I honestly think that the automated vehicles will definitely improve road safety.
Oh, they will. I mean, if we could switch to all automated cars tomorrow, would there be virtually no deaths? And especially if we actually
Your
planned
only
roads around
deaths
them.
would be
There'll be some
The
dick.
only test would be stupid people. People who got in their old-fashioned car and tried to drive it amongst all the automatic roads, and people who walked out in the middle of the road in front of a car.
And the best thing is, when we go to autonomous cars, speed becomes not a problem. We can go 200 miles an hour. Because all the cars are in sync and can slow down in the timescale. You don't need the stopping, as much as you need the overall stopping distance. The train of cars don't.
And, see,
And you would no longer have traffic jams.
Well, therein lies the true conspiracy because, most states get their funding between traffic violations and drug busts. So now, if they're not stopping vehicles to search their cars because they were speeding, they're going to lose a lot of funding.
They get it on licensing.
Mm.
There's no way a government's going to lose out on its money. It would swap it from fines and.
Oh, don't forget, you're also losing oil tax revenues as well, because there'll be electric.
But what they were just saying, our grandchildren, great grandchildren might not have licenses.
No, I don't.
Because these vehicles are automated.
Yeah.
So they're gonna. You're right. They're gonna have to find it somewhere, but. These greedy bastards are going to find. They're going to give you a license to
still need
breathe.
to have some sort of license to own the vehicle. I reckon. Much like we pay road tax in the UK, you would still have some sort of tax or license to own the vehicle itself.
But I don't think most people would own a vehicle. Well, why would you own a vehicle if there could be one outside your house every time you wanted it?
Right.
Yeah, you'd be paying rentals and stuff like that, and then it'd be the companies paying tax on the vehicles.
You got to pay for the upkeep of all that system, so you're going to pay for it.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to pay for it. I just don't think it's going to be. I think personal. It came up yesterday. Things that the other day, things that we think are going to be archaic, and I think personal car ownership is going to be archaic.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there, Dave. And I think there'll be cars for specific things. Like a lot of the back area streets are going to be smaller, and the smaller electronic
That'd be so
cars
much
for getting
better
around
though, wouldn't it?
They're going to be tired.
I mean, I've got a 4x4 because I sometimes need a 4x4. Yeah. Okay, the joys of living where I live.
That's what I mean when I say that cars are going to become like horses.
Yes.
Like the ownership of them. That's what I sort of.
But I mean, I would much prefer to be able to get the car that I wanted. Now, my 4x4 is a pain in the arse 90% of the time. Right? But because I need to be able to lug 2 or 3 ton boats, I need a vehicle that can do that.
Tell me it's a Land Rover or a Range Rover.
Nissan Patrol.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's not okay. Nissan Patrol is acceptable.
And it's an old Nissan Patrol, rather than
that's an acceptable answer.
Luxury later ones.
Patrol.
The only acceptable answers really are Land Rover, Range Rover, Nissan Patrol, or a Toyota Hilux.
I did think about a Toyota. I mean, to be honest, I would if I could have got a Defender that was new at the time, I would have got a Defender. But they
love Defenders.
Yes,
dude.
so do I. But they're basically collector's pieces now.
Later on, I'll give you the web address to my friend's internet business. They are Rover V8 specialists. Literally, all they do is customize Rover V8s all day, every day. But anyway, moving on.
Yes, I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you what I did for Rover later.
Yeah, cool.
Right, question 2.
Did the dog appreciate it?
What,
Dave? What you did for Rover, did the dog appreciate it?
No. Question 205.
Sorry.
Question 205. Do you feel immortality would be a desirable thing? And wouldn't a never-ending life become unbearable hell?
Yes.
I think it would,
No
yes.
fucking immortality ever.
No.
It would be awful. God fucking no. Make it stop. No.
There would be, is it for yourself or is it for everyone as well?
Not within the context of the question. But we're talking about someone's life as an abstract, I think, at this point.
Yeah, no. I'd still have to go with no anyway. Even if everybody was, you'd have so many logistic problems. But even just yourself, I couldn't imagine watching my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, all of them die. And, it's enough seeing your family members.
Yeah, I would be happy with that. I would like to live for several thousand years.
Me too.
I agree, Dave. Yeah, I could totally do that.
I'm not convinced by immortality, but I am convinced by very old.
Immortality with a choice to end it when you've had enough.
Yes.
Fuck
Yeah.
Then they have a Twilight episode about that.
No, I prefer immortality, and I don't think it would be undesirable health.
I mean, that's one of those things.
How you really feel.
If I was immortal now, or if I knew I was going to live for thousands of years, I'd have my legs chopped off tomorrow, on the basis that I'm fairly certain we'd have the tech to grow them back in a few years, and I could have some pain-free years now.
Yeah, but the thing is, well, I don't
Or
know.
robotic ones, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is a nerve thing, so I don't think that would.
Well, mine is mostly a nerve thing now, but it's mostly the nerves in my legs.
Yeah, the nerves in my legs too.
Well, they're chopping them off. Well, this is the problem, right? The reason I haven't gone for amputation, I've been offered amputation, is they can't guarantee that it will stop the pain. Right, and I had the knee replacement. I had knee replacement.
With me.
I had a knee replacement, complete knee replacement, on the basis that they said it would fix all the mechanical pain, all the pain that was caused by the wear and the tear, but it wouldn't fix the nerve pain. And they couldn't establish how much of my pain was nerve-based or physical-based. And after the knee replacement, they discovered that most of the pain was nerve-based. So I came out of the knee replacement worse than I went into it. There were certain advantages.
Oh.
There were certain
Same
advantages
thing with
coming out of it. I can do more physically now, but I hurt more.
Yeah. I opted out of operation with tears in my shoulders. Same scenario, 50-50. We don't know, so I opted out. I didn't take the operation.
Yeah.
I just deal with it.
Bill, immortality.
That's not a straightforward question to answer, though, is it? Like, there's so many variables to the answer of that question. Are you talking immortality in the same body now, like at the stage I am now, never aging my body, never changing?
Well, let's go with a nice, healthy 25-year-old.
Yeah. Okay. Healthy 25-year-old, my body never ages. Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yep.
Sure.
At the age you'd prefer for yourself.
Yes.
No, I don't know. Like, I get the downsides, but for me, the upsides.
There is a lot to
far
see.
outweigh the downside.
Whilst there is
There's
new
so
stuff
much
to see and
See,
experience,
so much you could experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd be up for it for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Way up for it.
Let's do these.
And-
Doorknob head. Immortality comes possible
I am going
insanity.
to space.
Say again, sorry, Sal.
I mean, I'm already insane, so that's not really going to make that much of a difference.
There's a chance you might not be by the end of it.
That's very true. They might have actually figured out why my mind is the way it is and worked out a way to fix it. That would be great.
Knocker says he'd go 10,000 years or so.
No,
Yeah, same. I could do that.
After how many times can you sing a gazillion bottles of beer on the wall? Says Shadow Kitty. Most people couldn't handle it. Julie says, I don't want to live forever. If I could stay as I am, i.e. not aging anymore, I wouldn't mind a couple of extra centuries. I was raised JW, says Sammy. No fucking way. The same song going over and over again in your head for hundreds of years. I think most people seem to be against it. The worst thing is, I don't think we can really comprehend it. That's the worst thing. To actually...
What's there to comprehend? You just gotta keep going and you get used to shit.
But you're used to change. Your brain relies on... Sorry, go on.
No, you're cool. Carry on. It's all good.
Your life is all about change. It's about getting older. As to actually we can think about it as an idea, but to actually conceptualize living that life is very difficult.
I can.
My whole life, I've actually thought about this. I actually fantasize about it. So no, I feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I've thought about this and discussed it in streams so many times. I would be so happy for it. I mean, Dave's been on streams where I've talked about this before, and if we got to the singularity where say by the time I hit 60 or 70, I could throw my consciousness into an artificial body.
Yeah.
As long as I could choose how that body looked, I would so go for that.
Oh, I would.
Yeah,
I think the other thing, I suppose the other thing as well is I would go... Oh, what's it? Immortality with the ability to erase memories?
So you could redo things.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, if you went with singularity,
Yes.
you could do that.
Yes.
I think sometime in the next 5,000 years, we will have the technology to be able to put your consciousness into some sort of mechanical device.
Yeah, I don't think consciousness is really real, so I don't really have a problem with that. I think you can put what we think of as consciousness into something.
We're probably just as likely. We're probably just as likely to put our consciousness into a simulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would not want to be quite honest.
I see more of a cloning scenario more than virtual scenario.
Dave, you reminded me earlier about forgetting something. It reminds me of that Red Dwarf episode where Holly asks Lister to erase all the Agatha Christie novels from his memory.
Oh, that's brilliant.
He's like, "You did what now?" "I erased all the novels from your memory." He's like, "No, why would you do that?" "Because you asked me to." "Why would I ask you to do that?"
One of the greatest shows ever. It really is one of the greatest.
I can't wait till Friday. There's more.
Have any of you seen the Smeg Ups and Smeg Outs?
Oh yes, I've got both of them.
Oh yes.
Oh, that is hilarious. I love the bit where they're at the convention and Crichton's talking about when they filmed the Wild West episode. That is like the funniest thing I've ever heard anyone say. Robert Llewellyn talking about that when they filmed that episode. Oh my word, literally side-splittingly funny.
Yes. Where am I up to? Question 206. Mahaha. Should the question? My dream's now coming true. Question 206. Should the Purge be legal?
I want to say no, but fuck that. Yes.
I think nature does a pretty good job on its own. And I think natural selection, even if it's human natural selection, does a pretty good job on its own. I don't know if we need to go around killing each other. We've done that for thousands of years. I think we're good.
It might give you a chance to get the politicians.
But they're going to be protected. I mean, that's the problem. Is they've got all the money that they can afford all these.
They can be protected. There's always a chance, and that's all you need.
Hmm.
Well, to the FBI agent that's listening in, we're not plotting anything.
This is in a Purge scenario only.
Julie says not in the States.
I'm not a fan of the Purge scenario because it would entirely depend on who was in control of it.
But the thing is while other people, while there might be people on your list, how many lists are you on?
Exactly.
It goes both ways.
I'd be on fucking everyone's. I'm a fucking goner.
Manda?
No. I mean, there are reasons why it would be good and everything, but it's too much chaos and it's too scary. It's fine if you're in control or safe, but what if my kid accidentally gets out and something happens? I just couldn't. I couldn't.
Bill?
Yeah, my answer is also no, but I do think it would be the fastest way to affect a revolution. No. All I'm saying is that if that actually happened, that the vast majority of people in the world wouldn't have it. They just wouldn't. No. And even with armies and police and protection, we outnumber those in power by millions to one, literally millions to one. So okay, viewers would die in the process, but if we're getting purged, what the fuck does it matter anyway? I think the majority of people would go, no, fuck that, and they would just overthrow the government straight away. I think that's what would happen.
Yes. I completely
would
agree.
They though? People are incredibly stupid.
Yes. The problem you've got
here.
with
so many people would be thinking, well, it's not going to happen to me, and I don't care about Joe Blogs down the road because this is how people fucking think.
It's one of those interesting society
problems.
Know. Right, with things like the Purge. There's one of these interesting society problems that everyone that has a nice, clever idea about society and working together seems to fail to take into account. It's the problem in the States with with the way they deal with gun control. You've got to have... You have to share security. You have to, in some way, share security. You have to sleep. You cannot be alert at all times to protect yourself. And anything where you have to then come together, you have to trust other people, and you have to... and that grows, and you grow as society. And this is, I think Bill's right. I think you would end up with revolution growing out of it to stop it.
Not before countless, hundreds of thousands of people are dead.
Oh yes, very much so.
Oh yeah.
But hopefully you'd be able to work together with other people that you weren't one of them.
Maybe. It's me you're talking about.
I would quite happily be prepared to sacrifice my life if it meant other people could live a better life. Not a problem.
Yeah.
You know, that was making me think. Maybe a lottery. You go by random chance. It would suck. Because it might be someone you know or yourself. But with the Purge, you're at the mercy of a psychopath or a sociopath.
It's one of those.
Yeah, but there's no way a lottery wouldn't end up rigged by those in power.
That's the problem.
I
find it.
I know it would.
Very interesting. Over the last 20 or 30 years that I have memories of, when people talk about democracy and what it means. And yet, over and over again, it has been demonstrated that the best democracy is random. Is a lottery, is selecting your politicians by lottery. Because it removes all biases.
Maybe we just need to have a president go into gladiatorial arenas.
Well, I do wonder whether or not there is something with I think there should be more... If you're going to work under the sort of system we have, I think they should give up basically all privacy. I think there should be a cost to those jobs.
Oh, you mean Trump actually giving up his tax records? Yeah, that's not going to happen.
He's going to do it after he gets elected now.
Of course. After it's already been amended.
After his next election. Right. Next question. Question 207. Are you handy?
Yes.
What do you mean as in, can I fix and do things?
I'm handsy too. Is that also part of the question?
Oh, they'll look at Amanda's face.
Growing up, I had two older brothers, and my father he always saw me as the little girl and never taught me to do fucking jack shit. Anytime something needed fixing or anything, even a tire, anything at all, he did it. So I never got taught shit. I can't do shit. I'm not handy at all. Nope.
Is this why the thingy's not level?
Is this why your picture's not level? See, my parents really...
are you confusing level with flat there, Amanda?
It's definitely flat.
My computer is not flat, and therefore it looks like the picture isn't level. But I'm not even in that room today, so fuck y'all.
See, my parents concentrated on intellect and really didn't teach me a lot about hands-on things. So everything that I learned when I joined the military. Yeah. And getting those cross glances from, it's like, you don't know how to do this? Like, I was never shown. I didn't have a chance to get into it. I wasn't shown. I didn't have the opportunity or the resources. So most everything I learned was from 18 on.
Disturbingly, this is really okay. My father, like I said, he works in the boating industry of some description, and you would think, given everything he does, I would have had access to that knowledge. Unfortunately, he's also a workaholic, so I never saw him.
Well, maybe he didn't want you to fall into that trap.
Oh no, he wanted me to. He expected me to be able to do everything.
It's just what
he just would never teach me anything.
He just never taught you.
No, and again, it's the sort of father I had this nice, odd relationship where if I was in any way to get anything wrong, I would be punished for it, but I would never be shown how to do something. So fun relationship. So most of it, I'm relatively handy, but most of it I learned after I left home. Jen.
Yeah. Oh, me. It depends what it is. If you want me to make something nice out of a bit of wood, I'm fucking useless. If you want me to repair something electronic or something like that, I'm good at that because I love electronics and I learned all about it, so I can do stuff like that. So there's some things I'm okay at and some things I just suck at. I understand the principles of the internal combustion engine, but you couldn't ask me to fix one.
Could you build one?
I could probably. No, I could explain how it works. That's probably about it. No, I couldn't build one.
Bill.
Yes. Yeah, I am pretty handy. Yeah. I do wood, metal, welding, like general stuff like that. One of my mum's friend's sons reminded my mum the other day of a story when we were living in Northern Ireland back in like 1991, 92, something like that. I decided we were always playing with toy guns and stuff. I decided I was going to make myself a shotgun. So I spent a couple of hours in the shed with a bit of wood, made a wooden shotgun. And then my mate was like, "Oh, that's amazing! Let's take it out. Let's go out and have some fun." So I'm like, "Brilliant!" So we went out on the camp, the military area, which obviously in Northern Ireland is properly fenced off and it has watchtowers and stuff. And we were just playing about on this sort of like building site, basically. Now, obviously, my wooden shotgun looked so convincing through a camera that about 10 minutes after we'd been there, the army turned up with their weapons, like, "What's going on here?" Just playing. And they confiscated it flat on the spot, took it away. They're like, "You can't have that here, sorry." It looked so convincing that, yeah, they thought I was walking around with a shotgun.
Oh, man.
That's great.
There you go. Scummer says, irony definition, being on paper a qualified shipwright, but being absolutely useless at DIY in reality. Oh, I don't. The problem is, no, I'm not going to go into that. Let me bitch about my life. Oh, oddly enough, the next question feeds into this, which is my own fault because I reordered them. What?
Oh. No, I was going to say that. I thought you would have done that deliberately.
No. I reordered them because I didn't like the "Are you handy" where it was when I was reading through them.
Oh, okay.
Question 208. What skill or craft would you like to master?
Ooh.
I've been teaching myself to be ambidextrous, and I want to learn how to draw with my left hand.
Cool.
I want to be like my sister could stick her thumb in the ground and grow a tree. That's how much of a green thumb she is.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to do that because I've attempted to grow things and it's hit or miss for me. Even if I follow the instructions, even if I, do what you're supposed to do, it's not like what she can do. I'm telling you, she's, my sister can grow anything and everything, and she lives 8,000 elevation in Arizona, and she's able to make things that don't grow there grow there. And it's maddening. But it helps someone to be self-sustainable, at least when it comes to food too.
Amanda.
I've always wanted to be able to fucking fix cars. Like, my car is fucked right now. It's been in the shop for a couple weeks, I'm pretty sure, but it's just done. And I've had a couple boyfriends that were mechanics or worked on cars, and I've always been fascinated with that. So that, probably.
I thought she was going to say she wanted to be a scientist. And I'd say, aren't you?
I thought she was going to say fix climate change.
Well, see, she's already got that trade, though. That's the thing.
No, I'm trying.
Yeah, but this is a question would you like to be better at? So.
Bits. And I've got to say, I think if I had to pick something, it would probably go down soldering. I'm naff at soldering.
That's my trade right there.
See, I can solder. I'm just shit at it because I don't do enough. But I don't have enough that I want to do.
It goes down to the equipment too. You have to have a good iron.
My grandmother learned to solder during the Second World War. and she was exceptionally good at it. So
Excuse
when
me,
I showed
weren't
her-
terminals a lot bigger then? In general.
That's not the point. When I started showing an interest in electronics, she insisted that I learn to do it properly.
Why not?
So I'm actually pretty good at soldering.
Well, I'll send you everything I need soldered.
No, screw that.
I had to replace the power button on a Nexus 5 phone, which is a surface mount switch with 4 pins right next to each other. And I could not get that. I could not get all 4 at the same
Really?
time. No.
A little bit of solder wick.
Yeah, a little bit of solder wick. Because my air gun wasn't working properly, and I had to do a hard drive repair for somebody where I had to, because they had the board die on a Western Digital hard drive, and I had to take the encoder chip off the original board, solder it to the other board, and swap the board over to the other hard drive, and I desoldered that fucking chip by hand with the normal soldering iron and soldered it on the next one, and put in a replacement track for a damaged track that was on the board, and I did that all with a normal soldering iron by hand, and it worked perfectly. That's bloody hard to do.
Yeah, it is. I can actually say that my hands have a lot of heat tolerance, but when I started...
Each time I come to solder, I keep ending up with calluses all over them. Doorknob says he's NASA certified in soldering, which means he's yet another NASA shill.
No. Being NASA certified, that means you can't make a mistake. You can't go back and wick away and read. No, there's no putting a little flux there, resoldering it. You had to do it right the first time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Bill.
For me, it would be welding. I can do the basics, but I'd really like to be able to do proper, very skilled at both TIG and MIG welding.
Why
Because
TIG and
even though
MIG
a lot
rather
of
than
stuff-
ARC? ARC is far better.
Well, but ARC is TIG and MIG, isn't it? It's
Well,
like
no,
whether
well
it's
they are,
depending
but they require.
Right. But anyway, the point being that obviously there are certain things that cannot be done by machine. Like the world will always need humans to weld things. Like it will always be a required thing. Just purely because of the fact that like certain things you can't put a machine into a certain space where a human can actually get into that space. Do you know what I mean?
That's becoming less of a problem as time goes on.
It's becoming less of a problem, but it will always be. There will always be a requirement for manual welders somewhere. It will always be a requirement. They'll never.
But there's no reason why that manual welder can't be a humanoid machine.
No.
No, that is true. That is true. If it was a humanoid machine, that is true. But it would need to be an almost android level machine. Do you know what I mean? Like
we can build machines fairly close to that now.
Have you watched the video of
Boston Robotics?
The one that just shows the progress over the last 10 years?
Of Boston Robotics, yeah.
That's an excellent video. Excellent robots. What do we got here? Shadow Kitty says they'd like to be multilingual.
You didn't ask me, Dave.
Did I not?
You did not.
What would you like to master?
I would like to be better at art, because when it comes to creating new stuff, I'm good at putting shit together, but actually creating my own original artworks, I suck at. Especially when it comes to doing 3D modeling and stuff like that, and I really wish I was decent at it, because there's so many times I could have use for it.
I don't have an artistic bone in my body. Literally. Which is a shame.
Mine is more of words than it is of art, so...
So I'd like to be able to do what Sal can do, because that would be fucking awesome. I'm very jealous of Sal's skills.
Tips, yo. Sal is amazing.
I would be happy with better specialization. I'm quite happy to make things talk to each other and work. But every job you go to now, they seem to want you to make it look pretty as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like pretty though. Pretty is nice.
Yes, pretty is nice. But expecting someone that is highly skilled in programming to be able to make things look nice is not.
Well, I agree with you there.
It's not.
I really do.
Yeah. Oh.
It's why most programming is done in teams, actually. So you share the skills across a range of people.
Yes,
So...
no, that's how it's meant to work.
But that doesn't work like when you're doing your own personal projects, because then you've got to be able to do the whole lot. And the bit that I find I like most in is the artwork for things. Like, there's been plenty of times I've put code together to make games, and I get to the point where I need to design characters for this game, or I need to design 3D models, and I give up.
Yes.
I'm like, no, I can't do it. I just cannot do it. I spent 4 hours designing a spoon in Adobe 3D Effects, 3D, whatever it is, the 3D modeler app for Adobe.
Yes.
4 hours designing a spoon, and I'm like, that's one model for this entire thing I'm creating. And no, I can't do this. It's going to drive me nuts.
Yes, completely agree. Jessa, did you answer?
I did. Gardening was what I wanted.
You're right.
To go
My bad. You were first.
Horticulture.
Bill, go on.
I was just going to say, I always think that these sort of skills, it's good to have a skill that you can perform, which doesn't require, basically, that you can get paid in cash for. If we have to live in a capitalist society, you get paid in cash for. You don't have to put any of it on the books. You don't have to have any connection to anything. Do you know what I mean? A skill that you can do with your hands, and you can get paid in cash, not have to pay anything to the government. Fuck all of that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
the problem is
yeah.
that the complexity of the things we make now, it is not possible to be specialized and complete a project. Very few people can economically do a project from beginning to end and do everything in it. And you can have people that don't. You can have better specialization, but then you have to have the expectations set out right. So you can have someone that delivers something that's ugly, for example, on the understanding that that's what they're getting, something that's ugly, and then there will be someone else's labor that makes that pretty.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. I just think that we need this. It's this problem we've got over here. No, I'm not going to go into it. It's government. No, forget that.
Yeah, let's move on to politics, Dave.
Yeah. Continue.
Continue. Next question.
Next question. Why are all these skill ones in here?
It's entirely your fault. It's
yeah, I know it
orders.
is. I should have reordered them. I blame Manda.
Yeah. Always my fault.
Hashtag blame MathPig. Hashtag blame MathPig.
I can't blame MathPig. I didn't see him yesterday. I saw Amanda.
He's in the chat though.
No, I did see him. I'm taking the piss. Right.
Well, yeah. If it's his fault, it's my fault too. So, sorry.
Question 209. What have you done for the first time recently?
Ooh. I don't know.
I have an answer.
I do. I wear a fucking mask when outside.
Yep, that works.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but except I've already done that before because I've been doing work. I've done some work which required wearing a mask.
Yes, but that's different.
Yeah.
I've worn one of those. I've worn a dust mask outside.
I wear painting masks when I use spray paint, even when I'm outdoors for the fumes. But so like have to prepare and get ready, and yeah, this is the first.
Having to spend a week and a half virtually locked in my bedroom. That was a first.
Okay.
That could be read a completely different
Everything
way.
happening right now, I think, is a first for a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything
about now is a first for most of us.
Yeah.
Doorknob Head said, answered question 209.
That's a great answer.
Manda,
What was the question again?
Oh my god.
what have you done for the first time recently?
No, I know this. I mean, I started doing coming on YouTube just like a month ago. well, I mean, I started my channel. I was on for a little bit before that, doing like six pack and stuff, but started my own channel. So I guess that's it.
Excellent. Jassa.
I started practicing my calligraphy again.
Did you? That's again though, isn't it? You've done it before.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I guess I haven't done a whole lot of new stuff. I'm
You
not
did a
afraid of
debate
it.
on pizza.
Yeah, that would be my first online debate.
Oh, there you go.
That was
Yeah.
actually the third time that I've ever done anything online on type of stream whatsoever.
Mr.
But
Shadow
that was the
Kitty
first
did the same.
debate that I've ever done.
Mr. Shadow
Pardon?
Kitty has the same answer. He
Mm.
appeared live on YouTube the other day for the first time.
Yeah, see, that was the first time I was on live. I've done 2 YouTube videos, but it wasn't live. It was with Utah Outcast. I was as a patron. I was part of one of the perks, but again, that wasn't live. So that was the first time that I was on live.
Excellent. Did you win the debate? I missed that debate.
I can't say
No.
that I did.
No.
You let the side down, Jassa. You let the side down.
So pineapple on pizza
No,
won.
I came in with science, and Zipostate. He came in with the human emotion factor, and that's going to win every time.
Right, Brainbug said something I can't pronounce. Read Hymenoptopus coronatus. Coronatus? Read something.
I have no idea what that is, but it sounds cool.
Or painful, one of the two.
Bill.
Yes. What have I done recently? To be honest, I've been thinking about it, and I can't think of much except for, I suppose, teaching my nan's budgie to talk like a pirate. That was the first.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. We need recordings of that.
To be honest, I will try. I have tried, but he's a bit of a bugger. Like every time I put the camera near him, he knows he's on camera, and he just shuts up and doesn't say anything. And then as soon as I put the camera down, he starts talking again. Like, oh, you.
He's like the Michelin Bob Frog.
Yeah. I mean, I could show you guys right now. Like he's literally sat looking at me right now. He was chattering away a minute ago, and now he's like, "No, I'm not saying anything. Now you can just look stupid." Oh, brilliant.
Unlike Aaron's bird, who will incessantly talk while he's trying to do his job.
Oh,
I
dreadful.
just remember him talking about punching him in the face.
Hello.
Hey, little guy.
Pieces of eight.
There he is. Look. You're not going to say anything now, are you, Bertie? You're just going to sit there and look at me like I'm an idiot.
Shiver me timbers.
Arr.
Give us a kiss. Avast ye! Bertie, avast ye! Shiver me timbers. Shiver me timbers. Oh, you're just going to make me look stupid, aren't you, Bertie? You're just going to sit there and silent. See, I told you it would happen.
Sal.
First thing. Yeah, I
No,
said
you
like
answered.
getting-
My bad.
Yeah, Sal answered. I think we've all answered, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yay! Next.
Question 210. How did you find out that Santa isn't real?
I'm
Okay.
too old for this question.
So I was 7 fucking years old, and I finished opening because my parents used to like give us a bunch of presents, and then they would give us 1 or 2 at the end that were from them. And that year they didn't. So I asked my mom, I was like, well, where are the presents from you? And she says, you know there's not a Santa. 7 fucking years old.
Damn.
On Christmas morning.
I was 6 and I realized that Santa had the same exact handwriting as my mother.
I'm impressed at that age that you could identify handwriting.
Right.
I was a cheeky little bastard. Let's just go with that. Still am.
I was going to say.
I was.
So the question is then, Jassa, if you realised, but did you keep pretending like you knew it so you get the extra presents?
Hell yeah, I did. I told you I was a cheeky little bastard.
Did I? That's exactly what I did. I don't remember when I realised he wasn't real, but I know it was at least a couple of years later before I actually told my parents that I didn't believe he was real.
I think when I explained to my mother, when I told her I figured out, she had this look on her, and I could tell in her mind, "You little shit." We could have gone deeper on presents.
I still believe in Santa.
Oh, sorry, Sal.
No, I can't remember. I don't remember how young I was, but I kind of always knew he wasn't real. I just didn't. It didn't impress me. My family, like my uncles, they would dress up, and I just knew. I was like, "Where's my shit?" It was never a problem for me. But I think my mom tells me that when I was like 3, 4. There was a time I did believe in a Santa. Like I was a baby and I actually believed it, but I don't remember that.
Amanda? No, we done Amanda. Jen?
Yeah.
I did mine.
Bill?
Sorry, what was that one? What was the,
How did you find out that Santa isn't real?
I honestly don't know. I don't have any memories before the age of 10, and since I've always known that from then that Santa wasn't real, so I don't know.
Unfortunately, that's pretty much the same answer I've got. I have absolutely no idea. I do know, I can tell you my daughter did not believe in Santa because we didn't teach him it was real. We taught him it was a story. We taught her it was a story and that it wasn't real. And at a
Did you just call your daughter a him?
I did. And because I'm thinking about the people that she was talking to at school, and when she got to about 6, all of a sudden, they convinced her that he was real. So she's got a story going from not believing in him to believing in him. That lasted about a year.
And then not believing again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Kitty says he's not real.
Oh.
I'd like to debate you on that.
Oh, Julie goes, Julie goes, got a gift marked from Santa when I was 5, but I'd seen it high up in my mum's closet. Godless Scummer says, I'm a dyslexic devil worshipper. I sold my soul to Santa.
And he accepted gladly. See, watch it. Santa's actually real, and he's going to be the only one that actually gives us everything we need for COVID-19, and all of us bastards over here saying he's not real, so that's how it's
we have to wait for Christmas for it.
Just keep in mind, Santa.
We're going to be around that damn long, goddammit. At least in the U.S. The rest of the world's going to be fine.
Oh,
you know Santa only comes once a year, and it's down a chimney.
I better start building a chimney then.
Santa doesn't negotiate.
He doesn't negotiate.
Yes.
He doesn't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
Mathpig says, Jassa isn't real. I have proof.
That's good.
I am a figment of every one of your imagination.
It's the shared delusions that really stick.
Hey, no, it's damn it, Jen. It's not blame, Jen.
No, but that's only because Mathpig took the title first.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Did I miss something?
probably.
Oh shit!
That's Jay's fault.
I missed Mathpig's answer. Walked downstairs to find out. Mum was there and said Santa was tired. I was 5.
Wow.
Lissy, that's the not.
Tried to pass it off.
Oh no, I can't say that. Molly said, I know Christians in school who weren't allowed to do anything Santa related. Yeah, I knew people like that. Because it rearranged the letters to spell Satan.
Satan.
Wonderful.
Satan?
Yeah. Because Satan's real, but Santa's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got to pick your really wacky stories.
That's why my family wasn't allowed to celebrate Halloween, because that was Satan's birthday. Even though,
What the hell? My partner wasn't as well. Like, really
Choose
weird.
your delusion.
we would get checked out of school on Fridays when they had Halloween parties. That's how serious my mom was about it.
Wow.
Right. Question 211. If someone had food on their face or stuck on their teeth, would you tell them?
Yes.
Who is it?
That's a good one.
It's Jen now.
Depends on the food too. I think I'm gonna have to add that little caveat. Depends on the food too. Because if it's humorous, then you got to leave it there.
Oh, I wouldn't be that mean.
Well,
I mean,
it goes with.
but I wouldn't do it.
Well, it depends on who it is as well. That's what I'm saying.
Like, if it's Donald Trump, you probably wouldn't tell him.
No, tell Donald Trump. If I don't like someone, I tell
Oh,
him.
he already looks like he bathes in Cheeto dust anyway. So.
I've seen several YouTubers that I've been in streams with have food, and I've not told them.
Really?
Because I cannot work out a polite way to tell them, and it's been too long of them in the stream of me. If I noticed it at the very start, they walk in and I see it, I can tell them if I'm going to tell them. Yeah? Half an hour into the stream, I can't bring myself to do it. I cannot find a polite way I can say,
I think it should be better asked, would you tell everybody at once, or would you be like, hey,
The fuck?
you got cabbage on your teeth.
I don't eat cabbage.
Then where did it come from?
Not talking food, but when I was in high school, one of the other girls in my English lit classes, we were sitting in English class, and the blouses we had were almost see-through. It was ridiculous. And I looked up and looked forward, and I noticed that a bra strap had come undone. So I reached forward, tapped her on the shoulder, and tried to whisper it to her. And she's like, what? So I just said it out loud. You know what me out loud's like. And the whole class just turned around and looked at her, and I was like, I am so sorry. It was fun. It wasn't funny for her.
The problem is, I tend to notice things that other people don't notice, and by drawing attention to it, you're drawing attention to it.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying, if I can tell someone in private, like Dave said, or the first one to do is like, I'm trying to get out of them. I will be apprehensive if there's a large group, if I can't tap them on the shoulder and whisper in their ear.
Mm.
I had a teacher that always had lipstick on her teeth, like all the time.
Did you tell her?
No. It was like the fourth grade,
so she was like Mero.
one time. But
Well,
it was
I had a teacher
all the
who's-
fucking time.
I had a teacher whose halitosis fogged up our windows, and we did tell him, yes. That man, I'm telling you, there, out of every other classroom, we had these, classrooms that had these big ass windows, and his classroom was the only one to have the windows fogged up like that. And it's like, it has got to be his breath.
Mm.
And he would always like you're working on something. He was a drafting teacher, so when you were sitting there working on something, he'd put his head right here, and not only would you feel his hot breath, but it would come around and just right there in your face. And you're just sitting there trying not to gag, and you're trying because he probably can't help it. But teenagers are assholes, so we let him know anyway.
Mm.
Teenagers are definitely assholes. You need to play back this section to Angelus.
I was gonna say,
I have a teenager as a son as well. Trust me, he's an asshole.
Bill.
Oh yeah, I definitely tell them 100%.
He's like you, asshole. You have something in your teeth.
Point and laugh.
No, I just would. I just straight up tell them, because at the end of the day, like, it's better that you say, look, this is the situation, rather than let them suffer the embarrassment of not telling them and still having it, and other people looking and going, oh, it's much better if you go, look, you've got this problem, sort it out. No offense.
Yeah, I can't even tell people on something like this that I need to be right back to deal with something. They're telling them that they should deal with something.
See, I'm totally with Bill. I 100% agree with Bill. Like, I'd rather be upfront with people. I'd rather people were upfront with me as well. So
Yeah. I probably sail a little bit too close to the brutal honesty side of the Aristotelian mean, to be honest. Like, I probably am a bit too honest, but I would much rather people be honest with me than keep things back because of my bipolar, like I see a lot of nuance when there isn't any there. So I'd much rather people just be straight with me, and then my brain knows what's going on.
Yeah, I can be brutally honest too. Sometimes a little too much. So
give us an example, Jassa.
No, because I'll get murdered. You see how she's looking at me, right? I wasn't even going to go straight to that one, but when you said something, I was like,
we've got here. Sammy said no. Lizzie said yes. Julie said yes. Sammy said no again. Doorknob had told me off for being polite. And Jeff says, if Jen had pineapple pizza on her face, I would definitely name and shame her.
Oh yeah, I would totally deserve that if there was pineapple anywhere near my fucking body. You tell me about that shit, because I don't want it anywhere near me.
See, my opa taught me that, even though, even if a turd is covered in sugar, it's still a turd. So you might as well just feed it all at once and let them get over the taste.
Oh, that's an interesting little whatever they call it. Analogy. That's it. I've had three of these.
And you call yourself an Aussie.
While I'm not Amanda's level of lightweight, I am still a lightweight.
I'm a super lightweight though, like for reals.
You are.
Yeah.
I'll grant that, Amanda. I'm
It means that I'm a cheap date. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not.
We established that earlier.
The other night.
See, I'm like you, Amanda. There,
bitches.
I don't know what you're like, Amanda, but the drunker I get, the more horny I get, which is not a good thing.
Do you use Brufen as lube?
What was that?
Do you use Brufen as lube?
It's not Aaron, and it's just there's a tube on the desk. This is what I was talking to you about the other night. One of the stupid habits I have is when I'm on streams, I will pick stuff up because this is my work desk as well. I will pick stuff up from my work desk, and I got no idea why this is in here. I think it's from when I hit my toe the other night, actually. I will pick things up and I'll just play with them. So I've been undoing and doing up this thing for the last 5 minutes.
No,
and it's a stupid habit, and I can't stop it.
I had 2/3 of a fifth the other night, and you can definitely. The worst thing that happens to me is my southern accent gets really thick.
I literally, my brain cannot work out what that is. What the hell is 2/3 of a fifth?
It's the amount of it's 750 milliliters, and it was 2/3 of it. How about that?
Yeah, that works. That makes more sense.
There you go.
I have not had to do fractional sums in my head in 25 years.
So I had 500 milliliters of whiskey. How about that?
That sounds like a lot.
It is. I am not a lightweight, and I don't drink often, so that's why I don't drink. Is because it's expensive.
You must be sobering up now, Amanda, because you've stopped being so mouthy.
Yeah, I am.
You see where she's holding her head. That's where it's starting to hit her right there.
Yeah,
I know that
she's
headache.
heading into hangover.
Drink water, my dear. Drink water.
Good.
Kitty.
Good.
Kitty says,
or as Jay would say, be water.
There you go.
Kitty says, I would absolutely not tell anyone they had toilet paper tail on their shoe. How about if it was coming out their knickers?
You have to be pretty knackered to have them coming out your knickers.
I've seen more people. I've seen more people with it coming out the top of their skirt than I have on their shoe.
Yeah.
I still want to understand the physics of that. Or at least the logistics. But it's like how did you leave it?
I'm assuming you catch the end. I'm not sure.
See, Amanda doesn't even want to answer it. She's like, nope, gone.
I spent a morning shopping once, and somebody in the store came up to me and said, "Hey, love, do you realize that your top's on inside out?"
Well, see, I've done that, but I'm talking about. I mean, I've had a T-shirt on inside out, and I looked down, they told me, I was like, "Well, damn." That was about it.
I'm not talking about T-shirt. I'm talking about a really nice blouse that there's no way in this world I should have put on inside out.
I got
so
you.
I'm like, it's like, what was I thinking when I got dressed that morning?
If it was the 80s, you'd have had the shoulder pads flapping at your ears. So
I don't like shoulder pads. They're fucking horrible things.
Yeah, but I don't think you could have purchased a blouse in the 80s without shoulder pads. That's the thing.
Oh,
I remember my mom
agree.
constantly
No,
had
you
to
couldn't.
remove them. Yeah, my mom
Even in
constantly
the
had to remove them.
It was next to impossible to purchase them without them. Yeah, I constantly had to remove shit.
Yes. I forgot what the question was. Oh, yeah.
How did we scare Amanda off this time?
And she didn't want to talk about
She'll be
the
back in a
toilet,
minute,
so.
because I know what she'll want to answer the next question.
All right.
Right. The last question tonight. Today. This morning. Whenever it is for you. Question 212. Would you rather be able to control animals with your mind, animals not including humans, or control electronics with your mind?
Oh, electronics every time.
I don't want to underestimate the power of Mother Nature, though. You know, animals are pretty powerful.
Yeah, but think
That's
about it. If you
difficult.
can control electronics, you can walk up to an ATM and just take money
I
out.
thought the same thing.
Is it an avatar
Throw
situation
money at you.
where you plug into the animal?
Apparently you can do that with a sonic screwdriver anyway.
Yeah, but I don't have a sonic screwdriver.
I thought most women did.
That's what they call it.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have gone there. So, I can see both sides, but to be honest, maybe it's because I am such an animal lover. I'd prefer to be able to.
She's got that grit.
Good grief!
That's definitely
Sounds
sonic.
like my
where's
washing
that coming
machine.
from? Buzz, horrific buzz.
Fuck! Stop!
We got it, Jen. We got it. you paid top dollar for that.
I dropped it into the drawer and it was still on.
As I was saying before, I was buzzed up.
Sorry.
Like I said, I think it's just for my admiration for animals. That's probably why. I mean, needing money, of course, is one thing, but I don't know. You might eventually end up getting in trouble for it. I mean, can you imagine someone coming up and it's like, look at this person, they keep getting money out of all the ATM. Someone's going to notice.
Yeah.
Our whole economy and everything is electronically based. If you can control electronics, you can control every bit of information about yourself. So where would they store the evidence?
Yes,
Where
but
how would you ever be persecutable?
But is a computer program actually electronics? The device that controls the computer programming is electronics. Yes.
Within the context we're talking, yes.
It is,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll go with
You're
that.
still talking about electronic signals within the computer. If you can control those signals, you can control the program.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think for ease...
You would definitely need a serious concentration because you're talking about rewriting binary.
You would become the software. If you control the electronic, you become the software.
And I'm over here wearing a Tron shirt. Come on, go figure.
Come on.
Dave posed the question. I took it to its logical conclusion.
I think using an ATM, you would get caught. I do not
Would
think...
you though?
Yes. Because the ATMs...
You wouldn't have to walk in front of it.
You'd have to get the cash out. ATMs don't actually spit cash. To take the cash, you would have to walk in front of it.
If I control the ATM, I
Cash would fall out. Gravity would take control, so you would only
No,
have to
no,
be
it does.
beside
Have you
it.
never left cash in the cash machine? I have. It just sits there. It doesn't just
Oh, it
fall
does.
out.
It pulls it back in, doesn't it?
Right.
It does pull it back in.
Right.
You do. I mean,
you control the camera, so you control how you get.
yeah,
caught.
you can control the camera. Yeah.
Well,
not
Jim,
only that, you can just.
No, you're missing the point. Right, I think you'll get caught for going through an ATM. I don't think you're going to get caught just editing the number of your bank balance.
Right, I was about to
As
say
long as you
that,
didn't do it too often.
or mysteriously having numerous amounts of bitcoins in an account.
I think there are lots of things you can
If
do
you're able to-
control-wise. I just think an ATM is
you're-
not a good one.
Yeah. If you're literally able to control the electronic impulses of a computer program, then you can edit anything. Most everything's digital with money anyway, like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to go to an ATM to grab it. You could easily get money otherwise.
And I'm thinking about hitting the ATM, but not hitting my bank account. Why would I be?
Because the ATM would be, well, you could potentially take money out of someone else's account, but they're going to notice it and they record at every ATM.
But I can
Gambling would be a good way to do it.
Gambling would be good.
Turn everything off.
And gambling would be perfect.
Because you could buy your gambling thing, and if you're doing it as online gambling, then you just modify it just as the thing ends that you are the winner. And you could do it in small amounts, but those small amounts would add up to an income.
Yeah.
You'd still have to pay tax on it because it counts as an income at that point, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Very easy to say I'd rather control animals, Dave.
No, entirely. Right, just let me go through with it. Let me go through the answers so far in here. Julie says, animals, I want to be the Beastmaster.
Thank you.
Jeff says, can I send electric shocks out to people I don't like? If they're close enough to an electronic device with enough power in there, I don't see why not. Joan says, animals are autonomous, I don't want to control them. Excuse me. Doorknob Head says, electronics, earn lots of money, buy lots of animals and human trainers to train them. Winning. Jassa says, sorry, Jassa? Yeah, this is what you said. All right, Doorknob Head says, Jassa, the electronics philosopher. Shadow Kitty says, if you can control cats, you can conquer the world.
Cats? Yeah.
And that's it. Right. Manda.
Yep.
Cats are cats. Where do they get cats from? Control animals or with your mind, or control electronics with your mind.
Yeah, I said electronic.
Did you? My bad.
She did. She did.
She did.
Explain your answer. Did you show your work?
I mean,
Did you consult a scientist?
Yes.
She's flipping you off right now. I can see it through her.
I
her
can see
cartoon.
that. I can see.
She's even using her middle toes. She is giving you 4 birds right now.
I mean, for the same reasons, but to be able to change shit and money and whatever. I just want to be able to take care of my kid and not have to fucking worry about anything.
I say you would be president as well.
Well, I would also make anybody that is absolutely rich poor like
Say
that.
again?
It's like, all right.
Why would I be president?
Because you can change electronic voting machines.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't want to be president, though. I don't.
But you could make anyone president you wanted. You would have complete control.
Okay, so Bernie's president. That's it.
And we could make Trump poor.
That'd
Having all your money. Oh my god.
Trump is poor.
Trump is poor, exactly.
Technically he is, but damn
See,
it,
there's
he
a problem.
doesn't have
This one, I don't think Trump is poor now. I think he has made a fuckload of money.
Well, he supposedly said he didn't take the presidential income.
No, he does. I don't think he did take a presidential income. He doesn't
His
need it.
company has the amount of lawsuits and shit that he has to deal with. He's still in the red.
That's really why he became president, so he could make all that disappear somehow.
Well, this is the problem he's got with losing the next election. He can't afford to lose the next election.
He cannot.
No. And this pandemic is making him look terrible. Yeah. Oh, he did that on his own, but
yeah,
he had a chance right.
But again, his base still supports him.
Yeah,
and this is the problem.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. It's a small base, and that's how you have to see it.
And at the end of the day, the bots are out in force, creating division with Biden.
Yes, heavy division.
Yeah, there are people now that are saying they will never vote for him, even though it's going to put Trump back into office.
Fuck you, people! What is wrong with your stupid?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, that's the new argument. They're fucking idiots.
To be honest, I think the South should be allowed to secede again. That way, the rest of the United States would get some peace.
Yeah, but I'd be fucking stuck with you, asshole.
At least I'm here. I mean,
move out. Get the.
It's easier said. It's easier said than done.
Move to Australia, Amanda.
I'm
Look,
trying.
we go where the land is not there. You'll never find us. He doesn't believe it's there.
Well, Amanda's got to find Australia first. We got to find it first. I'll keep moving.
Yeah. Well, we have a lead.
We have a lead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a country of convicts. They've got an extension lead out to New Zealand to power them.
We have gay marriage here, Amanda. Come marry me.
I'm already promised to Lissy, so.
Oh, that's right, you are. Yeah, but she's already married, and we don't have polygamy.
For me, trust me.
Oh, okay.
Aren't they Republicans?
They're conservative as
No, I know. I was just-
don't even insult them by calling them Republicans.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Bill.
Yeah.
Electronics or animals?
Obviously, controlling electronics would probably be more beneficial in the modern world.
Yeah.
He wants to get his bird to finally damn talk.
Does controlling animals by extension mean that you can communicate with them?
I would assume so.
Oh, no. Well, you can. No. I've done lots of questions where you can. I don't think so in this. You can communicate with them only in the sense that you can tell them to do something and they will understand it, but they won't understand a why or be able to go and view something.
I still think, although electronics would be more useful, I still think I'd go for animals, because then I could just disappear off into the wilderness, and I could snuggle up with a bear at night to keep me warm and keep me safe. I could have foxes around me to alert me if anyone was coming. I could have birds go out and collect stuff for me to eat. It would be great. It would be cool.
In other words, he wants to be a Disney princess. There's nothing wrong with that. That's pretty cool.
I'd quite like the idea of living autonomously with a bunch of animals in the woods. I think that'd be cool.
The animals wouldn't break your heart. They might eat your face, but they'd never break your heart.
Well, if you can
Man
control
does.
them, they're not going to eat your face, are they?
No, that's true.
Amanda, Jeff said if you move to England, you have to legally change your name to Mandy.
No.
Oh no, she's not going to do that.
Jeff,
She's happy in the
That's
south.
what we call. That's what I said it before, but Mandy is what we call MDMA in England. That's the nickname for MDMA in England. Mandy.
worse then.
Yes, very much so. People would be like, "You're blatantly into E, aren't you?" Like everywhere you go, it'd be like, let's go party."
Sounds good. No, not happening.
Next,
Fuck yeah.
Dave.
That was the last question.
Oh, was it? Oh,
was.
wow.
Oh,
So I'm going to say thank you very much to Jen, to Sal, to Jessa, to Bill, and to Amanda.
Cool.
And thank you very much to everyone for coming. I don't think there's going to be an episode tomorrow. It's possible I will panic when I get back, but I have a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock. So it's pretty much screws the exact time, and I am denied about trying to do it before and after, and I don't know. If there are people around after, I might panic and do it.
We'll just make sure
We
Phoenix
can always
closed
do
on.
something else for fun.
yeah, just hit us, man. Just hit us up.
Yep.
So we shall see. But thank you very much for coming. I've had a lot of fun today,
Oh yes.
Thank you, Dave.
and I will either see you tomorrow or the next day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.